Welcome back. Welcome back.
You dig?
Round one is officially over. We're recording this right after the Kings Warriors game. We've been on a little hiatus. I've had my last week of classes basically, so I've been busy working, doing all that. But we are back. We just witnessed history,
For sure.
50 ball from Steph Curry. So we might as well start there, and then we'll go through the rest of the series and how we think they went and were they more competitive, and then things to look for the teams that lost for next year, I guess. But
100.
Kings Warriors, I mean, Steph 50 points, he willed them to the win, which we all expected him to do. I think
100.
also, I mean, I've watched Steph Curry 1,000 times in the playoffs just from Cavs battles, but today was like the first time where I've really seen him be like, yeah, I'm the best player on this floor by a mile.
Yeah.
Because
He
like
even
the
said
first,
it.
yeah, like the first time they won the championship and it was just LeBron and Matthew Dellavedova versus the Cavs.
Mm.
They just had a better team. We didn't have our two best players, or two of our three best players. So like, he didn't really have to be insane. He wasn't really that particularly good in that series, hence why he didn't get Finals MVP. 16, obviously they lost. 17, 18, they have Kevin Durant, and at that time, Kevin Durant was still the best player on the floor. Draymond Green has said it, where Steph has now found that level where he's like, yeah, I can just go score. And you saw that. Kings
At
overall,
every level.
yeah. Kings, great year. I don't think their time is anywhere close to up yet. I think we'll see them here again next year. Um, I just said to my brother before hopping on here, Cavs, Kings, finals in 2 years. Mark my words.
Oh, that's spicy.
But yeah, I mean, I like what the Kings got. De'Aaron had a rough game, and I just don't think that he was really the same post his finger injury, which is
Yeah.
it's how the playoffs go. But yeah, any thoughts on it? I know you were rooting for the Kings, right?
Uh, I mean, I do want to say me, you, and Finn predictions was for Game 7. Warriors ended up taking it, but I'm really proud of the Kings. This is their first time in 17 years making it to the playoffs, and I think they have a great squad. Um, De'Aaron Fox is a star and is now on everybody's radar. I feel like being able to get some prime time, play. And I think that Sacramento has a strong enough squad to see what it's like to play against the reigning champs in the first round and go into a game 7, which is going to help them next year continue to play even better than how they played during the regular season this year, which was phenomenal. They stayed at like the 4th seed, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to them playing more games. They have a great player who is going to be a star in Keegan Murray. The way that he handled the pressure throughout the series, knocking down big shots, showing that he can shoot the long ball, and he broke history too, right? With like most 3-pointers from a rookie
By a
or something
rookie.
like that.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
broke
yeah,
Donovan's record. I don't know if he got to 300, but I think Donovan's record was 283. So it
yeah,
was probably in that range, but
yeah.
definitely
But
broke it. Yeah.
the fact that he's up there, and especially with those guys that play high pace with Swiper, Malik Monk, and having a great head coach with Mike Brown. I'm looking forward to Keegan Murray solidifying more of his game in the years to come. And with that being said, paying attention to the Sacramento Kings, I've said multiple times that more talent is headed towards the NBA coming across the seas and also coming up from home. In the U.S., you have plenty of young cats who are showing that caliber of play that Keegan Murray can play at, but also more have different aspects to their game, and that's gonna build the competition within the NBA. So prepare to see more teams that haven't had any playoff runs, starting to creep up into the playoffs. You like the teams that you would normally expect that may make it because the regular season is going to be so competitive.
Yeah. Like, especially going off kind of what you just said, um, like Golden State's the 6th seed. They just won the championship. Lakers are the 7th seed. Um, I guess you could say Phoenix is the 4th seed. They've been good for a couple years now, but obviously
And look what happened last night.
Exactly. The older teams in this league are starting to trend downward, which is all the stars that we in our mid to late teens grew up really kind of watching and like expecting to be really good. They're all on the come down. So like these last few years, next 2 years are really those kind of eras kind of coming to an end, really. Because what, in 2 years, Steph will be 36. Obviously, he's still going to be very good at 36, but he's not going to be dropping 50, I don't think, but you never know. I mean, LeBron's.
Look at I was gonna say,
look
at LeBron.
I was gonna say LeBron, but that's LeBron, so I don't know. But
man, Curry, the way and what fascinates me about Curry's game is, I know everybody gets excited about the shooting, but I feel like what he's shown you more recently, just with this season that I've been paying attention to is the control of pace, not just running around catching and shooting a three. I don't know what people, are paying attention to, but he can get to the paint. He can get right up under the basket, and he can score at all levels. He can shoot the long ball. He can get to the basket. He can get to the cup, and he knocks down free throws. The way that he gets to the line efficiently is what helps not only him like score as high, but helps them win in the long run. And Stephen A. just got done saying, he was talking, and you saw him on camera, like with like 5 minutes left to go. They can't finish just because they haven't had the experience. But he was talking about the Sacramento Kings. They cannot finish. So I expect Curry to have a few more years where he still is showing you the caliber of play, just because I don't want to say it's easy to shoot threes, but the competitive nature of having to shoot the long ball as efficient as he does requires, a certain type of endurance and stamina that prevents you from, having to play with as much contact as a bigger player like LeBron, AD, that could put a stint in their, injury. And I know Steph was injured a couple times throughout the season, but the way that he's able to bounce back, give you 50 in a game 7, like break history. Nobody has ever done that before. Steph's going to be here for a minute.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't think, me personally, I don't think he's going to be giving you 50 balls like that in 2 years. But I mean, he's definitely still going to be impactful.
100.
No doubt. I still think he'll control the game. I still think he'll be the best player on the Warriors. I still think all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of just nuts, dude. We're getting a LeBron Steph rematch. And I'm really excited for it. The Lakers had a lot of success versus the Warriors this year, but majority of that was pre-trade deadline. I think they played 1 or 2 games post-trade deadline, so you don't really know. I know they won the last game they played. I think the Lakers did. But it's the two most what's the word? I was going to say furnished, but that's not the word. Polished, I guess. Like playoff players ever. You have LeBron, you have Steph,
100,
you have Draymond, all those guys. It's going to be an absolute battle. I'm really excited for it. And while I did like the Kings season, I didn't think they would push Golden State to a game 7. I thought it would go 6. I definitely didn't expect them to win the first 2 at home, or I didn't expect them to win 1 on the road. But shout out the Kings. They got a bright future, and they got as tough of a test in the first round as you could possibly get.
100.
And shout out to them for rolling the punches. Yeah. And I think it kind of sets up next year, the year after, all that kind of stuff. You know what you're getting into now. If you know that team just won the championship. They lost a couple guys or a guy or two, but it's the same team, same main players, same coaching staff besides your coach. But it's progress, and that's all you can really expect. It happens to every team, so you can't really be mad. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited 100. For round 2. 100. But to the biggest shock, I think, in the first round, the Bucks and the Heat.
Wow.
The Heat beat the Bucks in 5 games. We were just saying chalk it up even when Giannis was out. Like, we're still saying the Bucks were going to win depending on when he came back. And then even when they were down 3-1, the Bucks, I still thought they were going to win. But I mean,
Jimmy
credit to Jimmy
Butler.
Butler. Yeah, credit to Jimmy Butler. We're saying how we don't think he's as good as ever. Like he's a little overrated, but he's a smart player. There's not much to say about it. I don't think he's in that top 10 tier like a lot of people are dick riding him to be right now. But they just beat New York today. We'll get into that next video. But just Bucks Heat. Shocking, honestly. Giannis had a controversial quote after the game, basically saying how a reporter asked him if the season was a failure, and he said, "If Michael Jordan went to the finals 6 times and won 6, he played 15 years. Were those other 9 seasons a failure?" And he was like, "No, it's steps to success," or something along those lines, which I thought
100.
was a fine quote, but a lot of people had a tough time, like were annoyed by it, saying it's not
Yeah.
like it's a video game or something like that. Like you won the most games in the regular season, you were the title favorite, and you lost in the first round. I think you can attribute that to Giannis being out for basically 3 games. But I mean, credit the Heat.
Yeah, all credit does to the Heat. I don't think you take away from the Milwaukee Bucks as if they didn't play as best as they could, just because I don't think that they just showed up and bull crapped because Giannis missed some games. But I don't have any issue with what Giannis said. I think that
Me neither.
I agree with him in the stance of, like, so for example, the Sacramento Kings, and just because like Milwaukee led the league, they were the number 1 seed, for the tail end of the regular season and headed to the playoffs. you know everything is a process, and depending on how you depict failure, when you put yourself under the pressures of I must succeed, that takes you away from what the overall goal is in order for you to acquire whatever it is that you need to acquire for the off season, whether it be coaching, whether it be drafting or trading. I think that every season there's a moment to get better in order for you to accomplish the milestones, just because folks don't understand how difficult it is to try and make it past the first round, or even try to win the most of 82 games. And man, forget everybody else, but continue.
Yeah, no, I just feel like obviously the Bucks didn't play well,
Yeah.
even without Giannis, or even in Game 5. They played well. They should have won Game 5, but Giannis didn't want to shoot the free throws, threw basically out of bounds. I don't know. It was just kind of a meltdown from a team that you don't expect it to. And I mean, credit to Jimmy Butler. He was unbelievable in that series, but I don't know. I think I wouldn't call the season a failure, but I would say it's disappointing.
100.
I think the Bucks should, especially with how the seeding worked out, should be an auto. Like if they play remotely well and don't have any injuries, it's like an auto conference finals minimum for me.
Yeah.
And that's what we are all expecting.
Mm.
But I mean, the Heat played well.
Yeah.
And I saw a thing today, and one of my friends is rooting for the Heat right now versus the Knicks, and they were saying how the Heat shot like 45+% from 3 in the Bucks series, like second in all of the playoffs or something like that, like 3-point efficiency or something. They were like bottom 8 in the league during the regular season. I don't think shooting that many threes that inconsistently is going to serve them any good. The Knicks are also a bad 3-point shooting team, so it kind of equals out. But I don't think you're going to get 45% from Jimmy Butler, or Duncan Robinson shot like 75%, or you're not going to get that on a consistent basis, which I think they'll run into some trouble down the line. But credit to the Heat. You won. You won. Injuries or not, you would have liked to beat them at full strength, but as just
get well, Tyler Hero.
Yeah. Tyler Hero got hurt. Giannis got hurt. And I don't know. I'm excited for the Knicks Heat series. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. But credit to the Heat and Bucks. I don't know. The window for the Bucks, I wouldn't say is closing, but they have an old team. They need to get a little younger in some areas because Brooke is old. Drew is getting there. Giannis
Yeah.
is not getting there. He's like
Yeah.
29, but still. Chris Middleton's around the same age as Giannis, I think. But like Jay Crowder and Joe Ingles, they're all older players.
Yeah. 100.
So I think if you're trying to run it back with the same roster, you'll be fine for next year and probably the next 2 years. But eventually, it could come to bite you. And I know a lot of people were mad at Mike Budenholzer for not doubling Jimmy Butler, which is reasonable. Getting back-to-back 40-plus games, a 55-plus game. It's tough not to double someone, especially when no one else on the team can create their own shot. But I guess credit to Spoelstra. He didn't have to make any crazy adjustments to beat it. But let's move to Grizzlies Lakers. Lakers closed them out in 6 by a 40-point win. Shout out Dylan Brooks for saying you got to give me 40. How about 40 on your team? But I'm officially moving to being a Lakers fan, more of a LeBron fan for the rest of this playoffs.
This dude.
I'm a LeBron fan second. Cavs first, LeBron second.
This dude.
But I'm also rooting, as contrary as this is, but I'm also rooting for the Celtics. I changed my future. So if anyone was wondering, I changed my futures. I have one with a Lakers Sixers final, which is like $5 for almost 400, and then I have another one that
could hit.
Yeah, and then I have another one that has hockey and baseball in it, but it's for the NBA portion of it. It's Lakers Celtics finals.
Yeah, who you got? Who you got? Baseball.
Atlanta Braves.
Okay, why win?
They were just the favorite, so I just picked them. I don't know anything.
You know what I'm saying?
But and then I have 2 hockey ones in there. I have the Leafs and the
You ain't put down the Bruins?
Yeah, the Bruins are. I cashed that one out, but made like $5 on it just because I didn't. The Bruins were scaring me, and Joel Embiid is kind of scaring me. So, but Lakers, Grizzlies. The Lakers are just a deep, really good team, man. They just are. A lot of people had a couple question marks coming in. A lot of people picked them to beat the Grizzlies. I thought it would be closer than it was. I think Ja being hurt kind of impacted that. But I didn't see the one game, like, quote-unquote, masterclasses from Lakers role players as consistently as it did. Like, game 1, you got Rui when AD and LeBron weren't playing that well. Game 2, you got Anthony Davis playing really, really well, but they didn't win the game. Game 3, you got Austin Reeves, I think it was, or LeBron, one of the two. And then you got Anthony Davis again. You got Austin Reeves, and then you got D'Angelo Russell in Game 6, dropping 31 basically in the first half because they were up by so much. I think the Lakers, they're my pick to come out of the West, obviously, as you just heard. But I think they've looked like the best team in the Western Conference. I think that you could argue the Nuggets have, but they've also played a way worse team than the Grizzlies. So they looked really good versus Phoenix, but we'll get into that tomorrow. But shout out LeBron, man, moving on to round 2. And Dylan Brooks is already in Mexico, if you didn't know. He is in Mexico, or he's on vacation.
No way.
Yeah, I saw a video of him. Someone videoed him. He's like, he's already in Cancun. But
wow.
I think the Lakers' depth is what's going to really carry them to the next round, and also having LeBron and AD. And I think this upcoming series, now we know, is versus the Warriors. It's going to be a big Anthony Davis series. But any comments on this series?
First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the Lakers. Second, I'd like to say to Memphis, you have an opportunity to succeed in a scenario like that, pushing it to a Game 6, and I think that Taylor Jenkins will move forward to next season with the adjustments of how to better handle that pressure. But also I think what Memphis is really missing is efficient shooting. I think I
in the
think
half
the
court
way,
specifically.
yeah, the way that we were talking about the duo between Ja Morant and Desmond Bain were on the same level of a I don't want to say Curry and Clay, but in regards to Desmond Bain being a potential phenomenal shooter on a consistent basis, you
Mhm.
know what he was showing earlier before the toe injury. I think that when you can create efficient shooting, you know you have the best, arguably the best backup point guard in Tyus Jones, coming in and leading the league in assist to turnover ratio. I think that is efficient for your team, and that does big numbers for your team, especially when Ja Morant isn't able to play. But I think that the team just maybe needs to be a little bit more efficient from three, and also I don't want to say be silent, but we saw
Yeah,
where the
I agree.
conversation didn't end well for them. Talking about Bears have to give me 40 in order to respect what it's been a series of talk, and then when it came down to the real series, y'all pushed it to the six, which was which talked about, and I think it was due to the talk in the previous episode, everything that goes behind the organization when the players at home do what they do, how they carry themselves, of course, they advocate playing the Lakers, shout to the Lakers. Look at them versus Golden State. I got Golden State maybe, but
You're
the Lakers
lagging a bit.
do have a stat roster.
You picked Golden State over the Lakers. You were lagging a bit.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
All right. Do you want to place a
Uh,
wager on that little $20 wager?
I don't know. I don't know. I
Not
don't
that
know. Nah, not that confident just yet. I got to see game one.
fair. All right. All right. But yeah, I just think the reason one, the Grizzlies just can't talk that much shit without doing anything. First of all, second of all, the issue with the Grizzlies come playoff time, and they're such a good regular season team for a good reason because they can go and push the pace and play at that fast break speed that they have across their team. But come playoff time, you don't get that many turnovers, and you're definitely not going to really get those stupid, careless turnovers against the LeBron. And that's kind of what bit them, where you have to play in the half court. And as you were saying, with the lack of shooting and honestly rebounding because of injuries, but the lack of shooting and spacing caused them some problems. And I think in order for them to take that next step that we all originally wanted them to, and now with how much they talk shit, we don't know. But um, I think they have to get better in the half court. I don't know that how you do that without changing certain aspects of your roster, but I think half court shot making is really important. They have to really just get open shots, or they don't really score or transition. So I don't know. I think they have a
That's
solid future, but
yeah. Does that
I'm
series change if Steven Adams is healthy?
I think it doesn't help their offense, but I think it helps their defense, like finishing out possessions, because the Lakers were killing them on the boards throughout the whole series. Even though the Grizzlies were like one of the best rebounding teams, they were missing two of their centers. So, and they're running out Xavier Tillman, who's 6'9", who's 3 inches shorter than AD. So, but that's the playoffs. Whoever's the healthiest team is generally going to win the series. But
You hear it.
let's swing back over to my Cavs. We never touched on them officially
The
losing
last
the
game.
series, and disappointing for me at least. Makes it even worse knowing that the Heat beat the Bucks, because I was just looking to push the Bucks to 6 games. That was my prediction for how far the Cavs would go. Round 2, play the Bucks, get them to 6. That's all I wanted. Didn't even make it to 6 in the first round versus the Knicks. Honestly, just brutal. Was not what I expected. Donovan Mitchell really let me down. I'm ready to trade Jared Allen tomorrow. You can't get dominated by Mitchell Robinson the way you did. Evan had a rough series offensively, but rebounding defensively, he was really, really good, which I always expect from Evan. And Darius was our best player in that series. He had a really rough game, game 3, but all the other games he showed up. He came to play. He had an issue with turnovers. Obviously, it's the first round of the playoffs. The Knicks are a very physical team. We're not the most physical team known to man. We're just normally smarter than how we played, and we just simply got outworked and we couldn't put the ball in the basket. I'm, as I said before, disappointed. Wanted to go farther, but beggars can't be choosers. Wait till next year. I'm still not. One of my friends is asking me about like the NFL draft, and I'm like, I'm not there yet. I'm still NBA mode right now. But I know you picked the Knicks to win this series, and I thought you were crazy, but guess not.
Spider didn't show up, and can you hear me?
You're lagging a little bit, but
I think Spider didn't show up, but I don't think it's all on Spider. I think it's team effort.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Jared Allen was the biggest no-show. For just an FYI.
I need Mobley to step up and score. I think the Cavs have the opportunity to as fast of a team as Sacramento, just in regards to pace. They just play slow as shit.
Yeah, I think also the main issue is, especially for us, like, yes, we were amazing defensively throughout the regular season, but it was kind of skewed because come playoff time, you have to switch defenders because they will just run screen and screen and screen, and you're going to eventually have to switch. And we don't have a lot of switchable defenders to the point. Evans, our only really switchable defender, or Karras, I guess, kind of. But you can't put Donovan Mitchell on a Julius Randle consistently on a switch. You can't put Jared Allen on Jalen Brunson consistently in a switch. And Evan, you could put on 1 through 5, and I wouldn't care. Darius, I don't even need to say that. And also, with being a guard-oriented team, we have no shooters. How is that supposed to work? I don't know. I think that's where you kind of have to get better wings and trade Jared Allen and let Evan run the 5, let him really flourish in that role. Because I think he played his best ball all year at the 5 when Jared Allen was hurt, and Jared Allen was a massive, massive disappointment in this series. So I think next year it has to be a little change up on the team. I think we keep a lot of the same guys, but I think you need to throw in 2-3 more really important pieces. We need a backup center. We need another either bench wing or starting wing. We need a strong 4. Like, we missed Kevin Love a lot in that series, spacing, rebounding, and just flat out intelligence. He would have got killed in switches, but I think he makes up for that with his rebounding. Rebounding 100. Was the biggest issue for us. And while Kevin's not the best defender in the world, he will rebound the shit out of that ball. If you've watched any of the Miami games, he's making game-winning plays for them on a consistent basis. He may not be shooting it perfect every night. He shot really well, but he's making winning plays, and I think we're missing that right now. But what are you going to do? But shout out the Knicks for winning, I guess.
You did.
Cost me a lot of money. But let's switch to Celtics Hawks. Crazy last game 5. No DeJounte Murray. Trey hits the basically a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Pushes to game 6 and came up a little short. I thought they played well. I just think the Celtics are just a better team.
100.
And that's really what it came down to. I think you guys kind of found a rhythm toward the end where you can feel good about running it back in some sort of way, maybe changing a couple pieces here and there. But for the most part, running it back, I think you like Coach Quinn Snyder, right?
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah, yeah.
I think you like him. You like your. I think you like your roster. I don't. I think there's just an issue of having to just simply play better or make better schemes, or
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
I
But
think it comes down to time, and I think getting rid of Nate McMillan and adding Coach Twin to a part of the team. I think that because that happened so late that that we didn't get the opportunity, not as a team to develop that chemistry, but as a team to develop that chemistry with a new head coach, running different actions, having different schemes, but most importantly, making different adjustments. But what I noticed is that we started to shoot the three ball significantly better than what we had done throughout the regular season with Nate McMillan. And I think that during the Celtics series, we did make those adjustments, being able to show that we can win in the Garden, which is big time, playing against a aggressive, bigger, better team with Boston. And I think that the more time that we have to really work with Coach Snyder and the guys, I think that next year we will show you that we can be a 6 seed throughout the season. And we don't have to mess around with the play in how we had to these past couple of years. And if anything, if any pieces need to be moved, I understand where John Collins needs to be, or where John Collins is the one that may have to go. But I saw that he can be efficient, giving you like 22. We just need that every night. If we have a big that can push the floor, I was talking to OG. Shout out to Chilltown Hoops on TikTok, but I was talking to him about the young cat Jalen Johnson and how he's excellent in pushing the floor in transition. And I think that his game is really aggressive. He's a big guy, can push the floor fast, and loves to attack the basket, can shoot the three ball really well. But I think what prevents him from being as aggressive is Nate McMillan, because he wanted to place the ball in strictly the guard's hands, Trey Young's hands, DeJounte Murray, Bogey, instead of letting our bigs like John Collins play with that aggressiveness that we have seen. We've seen John Collins dunk on Embiid, have some posters. We just need that aggressiveness every night, just because that is what we deserve from our bigs. We have swift, scrappy guards, regardless of what people may say about Trey Young's defense. He was able to
he
trap.
impacted.
Yeah,
He helped on that end. He
you know what
better
I'm
than he
saying?
normally would. You would expect. He definitely played
Exactly.
better.
All you need to do is slow down the pace of the offense, and Trey does that very well by being able to stay in front of the offense until there is help needed. But by the time the help comes, Trey is playing so well defense that it just leads to a steal, transition bucket, which is what I noticed playing against the Celtics. And as long as we continue to play with that intensity, we need that curiosity from our bigs. Quinn Snyder sees the potential in Jalen Johnson, and I think that that's why he got to play as many minutes as he did. I would just want DeAndre Hunter and John Collins to be more
To come to the
cutthroat.
Caps.
Yeah. Oh, go. I mean, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take him. Take him. Take him. But I don't want nobody. I don't need Karis LeVert. I don't need Jared
No,
Allen. I don't.
you can take Jared Allen, Lamar
Nope.
Stevens, Ricky
Nope.
Rubio.
No. I don't want Lamar Stevens. I don't want
You don't
Ricky
want any
Rubio.
of them. Trust
I
me.
don't. Y'all keep it. Y'all keep what y'all got going on over there. Y'all can take John. Y'all can take DeAndre Hunter. I think that
I would
those
love
are the.
DeAndre Hunter. By the
I
way,
think
I would love
I
him.
I could see he's the wing that you could be looking for instead of a Karis LeVert, because I feel like he could be consistent and give you 12, and maybe JB can allow him to play his game with Darius Garland and Spider Mitchell to show you that DeAndre Hunter can give you 35. He is a young player and he's finding himself in the league, but I need curiosity. And I see that in Jalen Johnson, bro. I need a anchor in Draymond. Like we have that with DeJounte Murray and Trey Young, where it's like we're gonna go out there, we're gonna be cutthroat, we're gonna make some plays happen and get some buckets. We need that on the aggressive side from our big so that we can get rebounds and so that they can help push in transition. Because when you have a guy like Giannis, pushing down the floor, even when you have like I would love Nick Claxton as our forward. Having Nick Claxton next to Capella, I think that would help, space the floor, a little bit better. Capella gets rebounds, very well for his age. But a guy like Nick Claxton, and I see the potential in Evan Mobley where he can really stretch the floor, no pun intended. You know how lanky he is, but like you
Yeah,
need that aggressiveness
once he
from
gets his
Mobley.
shot down, yeah, like if you get
It's
that
over.
aggressive, like I can go get my shot at any point down. He's moving that way. It's progression. It's his second year. He's 21 years old. He's younger
Yeah.
than you, which is nuts to think about. But I just think for the Hawks, if you looked at midpoint of this year, there was talks of trading Trey Young, and I think
100, which was a
this,
big mistake. Big mistake.
and I think after how this series went and how everything kind of played out, I think you kind of got away from those rumors or decisions to attempt to trade him. And I think you kind of build yourself for the future. And obviously, we don't know how it's going to play out, but I
Bright
think
future.
you classify that as a win, where your season started, how it went, and now where it ended. I think you went down and then you rose up at the end, which I think is important.
Yeah.
But moving on, the last few series, we talked about them. I think all of them. We'll just go through them quickly. But Sixers Nets, we talked about. Basically, I think obviously the Sixers won in 4 games, but I think they also kind of lost because Embiid is hurt and is doubtful for game 1, even with like basically a week off. That's kind of concerning. But they play tomorrow night, so look out for that. I don't think he's going to be playing. But as long as he's healthy, I think it'll be a good series between them and the Celtics. For the Nets, I think we already said most of the stuff we got to say, but I think they have good building blocks, and I think if they make a big trade, they're right back to close to being where they were earlier this year before all the trade deadline stuff.
100. Royce got to go.
I'll take him. But Nuggets, T-Wolves, we kind of expected this to happen 4 or 5 games, but shout out Anthony Edwards. You could see that he's taking those steps. Last year, he had a couple rough games in the playoffs and then had a couple good ones. This one, he had a couple rough ones, but then the last 2 games, he played really, really good ball. And I think he's the piece you have to build around. And I'm kind of just upset at the Timberwolves for basically mortgaging their future for Rudy Gobert. And the sad thing is the only way you really get out of something like that is if you trade Cat. And if you trade Cat, you're really dead in the water. Because you can't trade Rudy. You're not getting that back. You'd be lucky to get a first-round pick. You get a first-round pick and maybe a player for Rudy Gobert. Salary.
I think Cat is more of the problem than Rudy, bro.
I'm not disagreeing, but I think Cat is a better player than Rudy, and I think he gives you a better chance to – yes. I think Cat has his issues, don't get me wrong. He plays more like a Steph Curry than he does Joel Embiid in like how he doesn't use his size at all. So I think that's what's kind of causing the Timberwolves to not be as good as they are. But I don't know. I just think they have the pieces to be a bright future. Like they hit on Anthony Edwards. You could argue they didn't hit or hit on Cat. But I think Cat can be the third best player on a championship team. I think that is that level, or maybe he's a solid role player. But I don't know. I just think trading for Rudy Gobert, especially how much they gave up, is kind of rough for them. But
how would you feel about Cat in Dallas? Just something that popped up in my head.
I think it would be good, but at the same time, I think it doesn't solve any of their issues. I still think that all of the bigs they've had that are like good bigs, like think about it, Porzingis plays the same way. Christian Wood, more interior oriented, but still shoots a lot and isn't the biggest, strongest rebounding big that you would like. I'm just trying to think of a guy like a Dwight Howard when he was playing with James Harden in Houston. Like they need that kind of guy. That's just the defensive enforcer that blocks shots and that kind of stuff. that they haven't had, like a Clint Capella, even if on a lesser scale, if you wanted to argue something like that. I think they need one of those guys. I understand that they want to space the floor and shoot the threes, but I think Dallas is a lot of stuff to figure out, and I think they may have one fluke year, but they don't have a good enough team to consistently win with how they play. But we'll talk about that. I can't believe they didn't make the playoffs. That's also hilarious. But Suns Clippers, we talked about it. Clippers were hurt basically the entire series. No Paul George. Kawhi played 1 game or 2 games. Played so well in the first 2. But Russ, man.
Russ, busy. Norman Powell. Yeah, they got some hoopers over there in LA.
They do. They just need to stay healthy, and that's the issue with their team. They are never healthy. Kawhi and Paul George have played 30% of the games in the 4 or 5 years since they've been there. Crazy. But shout out the Suns. We expected them to win the series. We didn't think it'd be in 5, I don't think. I think we said 6, but that was with Kawhi playing. So I'm excited to watch the rest of this Denver-Phoenix series. But, I mean, that's every team, every series. We know who's moving on. We know who's staying back. But, yeah, any last comments? I know you got somewhere to be, but, I mean, I'm excited for round 2. I'm really, really excited for Lakers, Warriors. I'm very, very excited for Philly, Boston. I'm excited for all of them, to be honest. I really am.
Yeah. Well, I think I may be the most excited for Denver Phoenix because I feel like that those are the best teams right now in regards to efficiency and the way that they score. And looking at Jamal Murray yesterday, he had 35.
I've been saying all year, Jamal Murray is that dude.
You guys
are looking at me a little crazy. He's that dude.
35, 5 and 9. That's crazy. But I mean, and we got to give Denver the benefit, not the benefit of the doubt, but I think that they have the advantage at first because they are able to play at home, and we know playing in Denver is a different monster. But let it come back down to Phoenix. Devin Booker has been leading the league in playoff efficiency, shooting, in scoring, field goal percentage. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and pairing that with really Kevin Durant, I'm so excited for this series. We got hoopers all around this playoffs, man. I'm excited to see those, and we'll be covering it. So y'all tune in.
No doubt. Check out tomorrow. We're going to be back on that upload streak. We're going to try and upload a video or of some sort, whether it's a short or a long 40-minute video like we've been pumping out. Keep your eye out. If you want to hear what we have to say, click on like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully Finn will be here tomorrow. He was out to dinner with my grandmother. So shout out, Graham.
Shout out, Graham.
Yeah, peace. Go Lakers.